Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to explore some of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. The top 4 Kennedy half-dollar coins from the United States of America. United States. These half-dollars are more than just everyday change. They carry rich history, silver content, and fascinating minting errors that make them some of the most sought-after coins among collectors and investors today. We'll take a closer look at coins in rare conditions, silver varieties, and unique color tones that have become major highlights in the coin collecting world. These treasures are not just pieces of history. They're valuable collectibles that many are still hunting for today. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of American currency, this video is definitely for you. Moneybag, let's get started and take a look at the first rare Kennedy half-dollar coin on our list. The 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar is one of those remarkable pieces of American coinage that bridges the gap between history and legend. Though millions were minted, only a few hold the kind of story, condition, and mystery that make them truly priceless. When you look at this coin, its copper-nickel surface glowing faintly under the light, you see more than metal. You see a reflection of an era filled with change, hope, and remembrance. It's a coin born not just of economic necessity, but of emotion and tribute. The Kennedy half-dollar, minted in 1972 at the Denver Mint and marked with a small, bold D, carries the heart of a nation still honoring the memory of its fallen president, John F. Kennedy. In the early 1970s, America was shifting culturally, politically, and economically. Yet even amidst all that movement, the image of John F. Kennedy remained untarnished, almost sacred. The half-dollar bearing his likeness had already become more than currency. It was a national keepsake. Collectors and citizens alike held on to these coins as symbols of optimism and unity, two ideals that Kennedy himself had personified. The 1972 D issue came at a time when silver had vanished from most U.S. coinage, replaced by a copper-nickel composition that mirrored the technological and industrial age. But within those layers of copper and nickel lay a deeper value, one that money alone could never define. The obverse of this coin, designed by Gilroy Roberts, captures Kennedy in a profile both heroic and human. His expression is determined, yet contemplative. A man looking forward into a future he could not complete but help to shape. The reverse, sculpted by Frank Gasparo, displays the presidential seal, an eagle clutching arrows in an olive branch, wings spread as if lifting the nation itself. Around it, the words United States of America and half-dollar shine like a promise. Together, these two sides tell a complete American story, triumph, loss, and the enduring belief in leadership. Now, what makes the 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar truly valuable in today's coin market is not just its age, but its potential for hidden rarity. There are known variations of this coin, some with striking errors, misaligned dies, or double lettering, that have become treasures in the numismatic world. These rare examples are the ones that turn a 50-cent piece into something worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands, depending on condition and detail. A perfect, untouched 1972 D half-dollar, with every line of Kennedy's hair sharply struck and every feather on the eagle perfectly defined, is a work of art in miniature, and collectors are willing to pay fortune for that perfection. But even beyond errors and rarity, the 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar holds emotional weight that cannot be appraised. For those who lived through the 1960s and 70s, owning this coin was like holding on to the memory of a leader whose voice once called a generation to reach for the stars. The coin's enduring demand in the marketplace is powered by that sentiment, by nostalgia, reverence, and the shared experience of a time when America believed in progress through unity. It's this emotional currency, invisible yet powerful, that elevates the 1972 D half-dollar beyond ordinary money. When you study this coin under light, the metallic luster whispers stories of its journey, of hands it passed through, of decades resting in drawers, boxes, or pockets. Some have been kept by families for generations, their copper edges worn yet warm with time. Others, untouched and sealed away, gleam with the same brilliance they had on the day they were struck in Denver over 50 years ago. These untouched specimens are the ones that dazzle collectors. Their beauty lies not only in their shine, but in their resilience, in the way they defied times where to remain immaculate. And then there are the whispers of the unimaginable finds, the stories that fuel the dreams of every coin hunter and historian. Tales of 1972 D half dollars with mysterious silver layers, struck on leftover silver planchets or experimental blanks. Though such occurrences are vanishingly rare, they do exist, and their discovery sends waves through the collecting community. A single authentic silver 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar could be worth an amount that changes a life overnight, proving that fortune sometimes hides in plain sight in something as simple as an old coin jar. The 1972 D coin also stands as a mirror of America's transition. By then, the nation had let go of silver coinage, signaling a shift from tangible wealth to trust-based currency. Yet this coin's design remained grand, noble, even presidential. It captured a time when design and dignity mattered, when even everyday change carried the image of leadership. This is part of its enduring charm, its ability to remind us that even as materials change, values and ideals endure. In today's coin market, the 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar continues to command respect and fascination. Condition is everything. A coin with full luster, free from scratches and blemishes, especially one graded as mint state MS65 or higher, can fetch prices that surprise even seasoned collectors. And those with unique toning, where the copper has developed rich shades of gold, blue, and violet over decades, become visual masterpieces, each one a unique work of natural art. But what truly makes this coin legendary is the symbolism it carries. It's a bridge between eras, the silver age of the 1960s and the modern, industrial America of the 1970s. It embodies resilience, progress, and remembrance. To own it is to possess a story, a piece of history that vibrates with national pride. It is both a tribute and a time capsule, a coin that reminds us of where America has been and how far it has come. So, if you hold a 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar, take a moment to look at it not as just metal, but as memory. It could be your key to wealth, yes, but more importantly, it connects you to a greater legacy. A legacy of courage, unity, and vision. This coin, though minted in copper and nickel, carries a heart of gold within it. The golden ideal of a better America that Kennedy once dreamed of. And sometimes, that dream manifests itself not in speeches or monuments, but in the quiet gleam of a coin that can change a life forever. If destiny hides in small things, then the 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar is proof of it. A coin that holds not only the power of history, but the promise of fortune. In your hands, it can be more than a half dollar. It can be a piece of immortality. Sparkles next up. The 1985 Kennedy half dollar is more than just a coin. It is a living emblem of modern American spirit, a relic from an age when hope, pride, and craftsmanship still echoed through every strike of the mint's presses. Born in a time when the nation was redefining its identity, this coin carries a silent story that speaks volumes. While millions were produced in 1985, the true treasures among them are the ones that escaped times where, preserving their original luster and intricate design. The absence of a mint mark tells us that these coins were minted in Philadelphia, a place where history and tradition meet precision. Each of these copper-nickel masterpieces embodies not just the face of John F. Kennedy, but the strength and ambition of a nation still holding tightly to its dreams. The Kennedy half dollar series, first minted in 1964, was a symbol of national mourning and unity after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Even 2 decades later, in 1985, that spirit had not faded. This coin carried his memory forward, serving as a reminder of an era when leadership was built on courage and optimism. The 1985 issue represents a bridge between the classic and contemporary, no longer struck in silver, yet holding a value far beyond its metallic worth. Its copper-nickel blend mirrors America's own transformation, strong, resilient, and shining with determination. Every line on the coin's surface tells a story. The profile of Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, faces left with that unmistakable gaze, confident yet contemplative, bold yet gentle. His image radiates leadership, as though even through metal, he continues to inspire progress. On the reverse side, Frank Gasparo's eagle stands as a guardian of freedom, wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches. It symbolizes both strength and peace. These designs are not mere art. They're living pieces of national identity, crafted to endure centuries. Though the 1985 half dollar no longer contains silver, its rarity lies in perfection. The few that survive without scratches, nicks, or fading, the ones that remain flawless, became numismatic legends. Under perfect lighting, these coins seem almost ethereal, with a mirror-like shine that catches your breath. Collectors search endlessly for such pristine examples, and when found, these coins command prices that defy expectations. In auctions, a flawless 1985 half dollar can soar into the thousands, and when accompanied by rare minting errors, such as off-center strikes or double dies, it can become a true fortune in copper and nickel. Imagine holding one of these coins in your hand. It's more than 50 cents. It's a symbol of endurance. Through decades of economic shifts, cultural revolutions, and changing values, the Kennedy half dollar has remained constant, and the 1985 version stands as one of the most striking examples of this resilience. Many believe that some 1985 halves were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from earlier years, a theory that, if proven, could turn one of these coins into a millionaire's ticket. It's the kind of mystery that gives coin collecting its magic. The thrill of discovery, the hope that the smallest object could hold unimaginable value. What makes this coin especially enchanting is how it bridges memory and modernity. By 1985, most Americans had stopped seeing half dollars in everyday circulation. They became collectibles, stored away in albums, drawers, and hidden boxes. Decades later, those same coins resurface, sometimes in chained jars, sometimes in estate sales, and their rediscovery feels like unearthing buried treasure. The excitement of finding a 1985 half dollar in perfect condition is unlike anything else. It's as if time itself has handed you a reward for patience and curiosity. Even without silver, the coin carries beauty and substance. The warm copper core, encased in the skin of nickel, gives it a subtle dual tone that shimmers under light. Over the years, some have developed natural toning, hues of gold, violet, and blue that swirl like galaxies across the surface. Each tone coin is one of a kind, and collectors pay a premium for that natural artistry. In its imperfection lies uniqueness, and in that uniqueness lies wealth. The 1985 Kennedy half dollar also reflects the craftsmanship of its era. The Philadelphia Mint, where it was struck, had refined its technology to achieve sharper strikes and greater detail. This means that every fold in Kennedy's hair, every feather on the eagle, and every tiny star around the presidential seal was engraved with stunning precision. The best preserved specimens are like time capsules, reminders of a nation's pride in the quality of its work. In the modern coin market, this coin story continues to evolve. While many 1985 halves are worth modest sums, those in top grades, especially those graded MS-68 or higher, are exceedingly scarce and command extraordinary prices. The thrill, however, comes not just from monetary gain, but from history's whisper. Owning such a coin is like holding a fragment of America's journey, a piece of its evolving spirit sealed in metal. Collectors often speak of sleepers, coins that appear common but are destined to rise in value as awareness grows. The 1985 no-mint mark Kennedy half dollar fits that definition perfectly. As older coins are lost or damaged, pristine examples become rarer each year. Experts predict that in the coming decades, this issue will become one of the hidden giants of modern numismatics. A coin whose time to shine is yet to come. So if you have a 1985 Kennedy half dollar, hold on to it with respect and curiosity. Don't let its copper-nickel surface fool you. Beneath that simple gleam lies history, artistry, and the spirit of a nation's most beloved leader. You might just be holding the key to unimaginable fortune. But even if it never brings you millions, it brings something far more precious. The legacy of a dream that still glows in America's heart. And perhaps that is the true magic of the 1985 Kennedy half dollar. It's not just a coin. It's a conversation with time, a link between past and future. It reminds us that value isn't always measured in gold or silver, but in meaning, memory, and mystery. And for those lucky enough to discover its hidden brilliance, it just might be the coin that changes everything overnight. Sparkle's next up. The 1978 Kennedy half-dollar stands as a powerful reminder of American craftsmanship, a coin that embodies the endurance of a nation and the eternal legacy of one of its most beloved leaders. Though made primarily of copper and nickel rather than silver, this coin carries a brilliance that goes beyond metal. It carries the soul of history itself. Every curve of its design, every subtle shine on its surface, tells a story that bridges the gap between the memory of John F. Kennedy and the spirit of the American people who continue to honor him through time. Minted without a mark, the 1978 half-dollar was produced in Philadelphia, a city deeply intertwined with the birth of American independence. When you hold this coin, you aren't just holding 50 cents. You are holding a piece of 20th century courage and inspiration. The Kennedy half-dollar series began in 1964, immediately after the shocking assassination of President Kennedy. It became more than just currency. It became a symbol of national unity, grief, and hope. By 1978, this coin had transformed from a tribute to a lasting icon. It represented not just Kennedy's dream, but America's resilience, an unbroken thread linking the heart of a fallen leader to generations yet to come. The 1978 issue in particular came at a time when the U.S. Mint was perfecting its copper-nickel alloy, giving the coin a unique luster and durability that has helped it survive decades without losing its proud face. The obverse of the coin, designed by Gilroy Roberts, captures Kennedy's profile in perfect strength, his gaze steady, his hair flowing with the wind of progress. It's a portrait that doesn't fade with time. Instead, it gains character with every passing year. On the reverse, Frank Asparo's heraldic eagle spreads its wings wide, gripping both olive branches and arrows, a timeless balance between peace and power. Every detail was struck with precision, making even the common 1978 half-dollar a masterpiece of design. But hidden among these millions of coins are rare gems, those that shine with flawlessness, struck perfectly and preserved as if time forgot to touch them. What makes the 1978 Kennedy half-dollar truly fascinating is not its composition, but its story. It marks an era of transition. America's economy was changing. Silver had long disappeared from circulation, and yet this coin retained its dignity. It refused to lose its grandeur, its weight, or its respect among collectors. Even though the metal changed, the emotion behind the design never did. Collectors around the world recognize the importance of this issue because it represents the steadfastness of the Kennedy legacy through changing times. Some believe a few 1978 half-dollars were struck on leftover silver planchets by error, a rare miracle that would make such coins worth a small fortune today. Imagine stumbling upon one of these rarities. To the untrained eye, it might look ordinary, but under proper light, the difference reveals itself. The shine deeper, the weight subtly distinct, the sound when dropped a clearer, bell-like tone. It is said that such accidental silver strikes could easily be worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands, depending on their condition. And for those who discover them, that single coin can truly change their life overnight. That's the thrill of numismatics, the adventure discovery where history and fortune intertwine. Even beyond rarity, the 1978 half-dollar has a power few coins possess. It connects emotion, history, and artistry. Every time you look at it, you see more than a president. You see leadership, vision, and the echoes of the 1960s that still inspire the modern world. Its copper and nickel blend has resisted corrosion beautifully, often developing a soft golden tone that seems to glow under natural light. Collectors call this natural toning, and in perfect examples, it enhances value dramatically. Each tone tells its own story, as if the coin has absorbed pieces of the years it has survived. The Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was produced, was known for its precision in 1978. This era saw the introduction of new technologies in coin striking, making the details sharper than in earlier years. Because of this, the best 1978 half-dollars, those with crisp details and unblemished surfaces, have become sought-after treasures. Graded specimens in mint-state condition can command impressive prices, with value soaring for flawless, mirror-like examples. The coin might not contain silver, but its historical weight makes it shine just as bright in the eyes of collectors. Over time, the Kennedy half-dollar began to vanish from daily circulation, transforming into a collector's coin rather than common pocket change. The 1978 issue marks the end of an era when people still occasionally found half dollars in their hands. By the following decades, they were mostly seen in collector sets and proof strikes. This adds sentimental value, because each surviving 1978 coin becomes rarer with every passing year. Those preserved untouched, sealed away in drawers or safes, are now silent treasures waiting to be rediscovered. The coin market today looks upon the 1978 Kennedy half dollar with renewed fascination. As collectors dig deeper into mid-20th century issues, they recognize how undervalued some of these coins are. Rarity isn't always about low mintage. It's about condition, error, and timing. A pristine, uncirculated 1978 Kennedy with a full strike and natural luster could fetch far more than most expect. And for coins with unusual die cracks, double lettering, or off-center designs, the value multiplies instantly. These errors are considered accidental art, proof that even machines can produce masterpieces by mistake. There's also something poetic about this particular year. 1978 marked the approach of a new decade, and Kennedy's presence on the half dollar reminded Americans of the ideals that once guided them: courage, innovation, and unity. Even though the coin was made of humble metal, its spirit was priceless. It carried the dream of a better America, struck forever into copper and nickel. In a way, it represents how greatness often hides behind simplicity, a lesson both collectors and dreamers can appreciate. If you have a 1978 Kennedy half dollar, don't underestimate it. Look closer at its surface, its edges, its sound, and its story. You might be holding more than a coin. You might be holding a fragment of the American soul. The kind of treasure that doesn't just have monetary worth, but carries with it a tale of leadership, memory, and hope. So before you spend it, before you trade it for a small sum, remember, fortune hides in the unlikeliest places. The 1978 Kennedy half dollar may just be one of those miracles of history, an everyday object with the power to transform your destiny. In its shine lies the echo of a great man's dream and the possibility of your own.